Hey, what's up? Jason Ostrom here. I want to walk through some of the LDP Med features of VoIP Hopper. LDP Med is a newer device discovery protocol, very similar to CDP, that's gaining in popularity, and it's used by the phones to do a lot of different important business benefits like prioritization of power, E911 emergency services, and inventory control and VoIP VLAN discovery. One of the most important things to automatically associate into the VoIP VLAN for quality of service purposes. So let's go ahead. VoIP Hopper has this new, I coded this new dissector for LDP Med and also the spoofing of LDP Med. And we're going to do the -O option, and I want to show that to you. Right now, we can't spoof a specific 12-byte MAC address. We have to specify it this way. Any 12 characters, and we can spoof. Let's go ahead and see what happens. All right, so we spoofed, and what happened here is we spoofed the capabilities response, the capabilities message of a VoIP phone. This is the same thing that an IP phone does when it boots up. If we send a regular LDP Med packet, we're not going to get the proper response back from the switch. But if we spoof the capabilities of an IP phone, the switch is going to respond back thinking that we're a phone with a network policy TLV, which has the voice VLAN ID. So we basically spoof that packet and we get back 200, and we create the virtual interface and we tag a DHCP request and we get a DHCP request right here. So what's happening here is VoIP Hopper is sleeping and then sending an LDP Med packet every 60 seconds. In case there's some kind of security feature that relies on LLDP packets being sent at regular intervals, we go ahead and do it that way. So I'm going to hit Control-C to break out of this. And let's delete the VoIP interface, the VoIP VLAN interface created by VoIP Hopper. And let's really quick show you the other way to spoof LDP is in assessment mode. We've launched in, we hit the help menu, and a remnant packet from LDP was already there. So I'm gonna quit out, and I want to see if we can do this one more time. So hit the help menu, and we want to spoof LDP Med, which is option M. So let's go ahead and do that and see what happens. So since the switch is already accustomed to us having sent that prior packet, this is probably not going to work here right now. Well, actually we did get a response, but that might have been from an advertisement from before. But anyways, this feature does work in assessment mode. You can spoof the LDP Med the same way within assessment mode here, just in case you don't want to launch assessment mode. So we're gonna quit out, and I want to show one more feature of LDP Med. Is something I actually was inspired me from doing an internal VoIP pen test. I had plugged into a port, and I started receiving LDP Med packets, which was really, really strange from the IP phones, because LDP Med, the protocol itself, is a layer 2 protocol that's only sent between LLDP Med endpoints and an Ethernet switch, and so another device on another port should not be receiving the LDP Med advertisements from another phone. So it could have been a bug, or it could have been some kind of misconfiguration. But I went ahead and coded a feature of VoIP Hopper that logs any LDP Med traffic that it receives. So I've essentially simulated a monitor span session to receive the traffic from the phones in the same way that I did before. Let's delete the interface. And let's launch assessment mode. This needs to be done from assessment mode. We're going to have to put a dummy address here. Okay, so we're in assessment mode, and what we want to see here is the file myassessment.txt is if we're receiving anything. So let's see if something happens, and it did. Okay, so I tailed the myassessment.txt, and there was an LDP Med packet from one of the phones here. Okay, so on my limited lab environment here, I only have two phones. So these LDP Med advertisements happen every 90 seconds. So I'm not going to receive the traffic that often. But the point is like, if you're ever in an environment you can receive that you're receiving the LDP Med, you can get it that way. So the myassessment.txt will log any LDP Med devices received through the sniffer. There we go, the second device right there. And it's a nice little new feature that I thought. And we're picking up the IP address, we're picking up the model of the phone, the software revision. We have the MAC address, we have the device name of the phone. That's kind of a nice little feature. So we might have a need for it in the future at some point. Thanks for listening to the LDP Med tutorial for VoIP Operator.